Have you ever been asked to be the maid of honor at a wedding for someone you've never met at Starbucks? So, I'm standing in line at Starbucks before my shift at the vet clinic, just scrolling through my phone like any normal Tuesday. I order my usual iced coffee, extra shot because Tuesdays suck. And I'm waiting by the pickup counter when this woman rushes up to me. She's maybe mid-30s, wearing this expensive-looking blazer, but her mascara is all smudged like she's been crying. She grabs my arm and goes, "I know this is going to sound absolutely insane, but would you pretend to be my maid of honor for like 5 minutes?" I literally thought she was pranking me. Like, where are the cameras? But she looked so desperate and panicked that I asked what was going on. Her name was Kendra, and she explained that her wedding rehearsal was happening at the event space next door. Her actual maid of honor had been ghosting her for weeks, and just texted that morning saying she couldn't make it. Something about a family emergency that sounded totally fake. Kendra said her future in-laws were super traditional and judgmental, and she was terrified they'd think she had no real friends if she showed up alone. She begged me to just walk in, smile, and pretend we'd known each other forever. I thought about it for maybe 10 seconds. I had an hour before work. It sounded kind of fun in a weird way, and honestly, the woman looked like she was about to have a complete breakdown, so I said yes. She literally started crying right there and handed me this garment bag. Inside was this gorgeous purple dress that somehow fit me perfectly. While I changed in the Starbucks bathroom, she coached me through the window. "We met in college. You're from Portland. You work with animals. You've been my best friend for 8 years." I walked into this fancy rehearsal dinner with 30 strangers acting like I belonged there. Kendra's mother-in-law, this intimidating woman in pearls, immediately loved me. She kept saying how lovely it was that Kendra had such a loyal friend. The best man, who was actually pretty cute, spent the whole night flirting with me. The groom's younger sister asked if she could call me for college advice. It was going so well that when Kendra pulled me aside at the end, I wasn't surprised when she asked if I'd do it again for the real wedding. "I'll pay you," she said. "Please, I can't face them alone." I figured why not? It would be a crazy story to tell later, and she was offering $300. But over the next 2 weeks, things got weird. Kendra invited me to help plan parts of the wedding. I got added to group chats with her bridal party. I even went to a spa day where I had to keep pretending I'd known her since freshman year. But the more time I spent around them, the more I noticed something seriously off about her fiancé, Brad. He would snap at Kendra when she laughed too loud at dinner. He corrected her stories in front of everyone, making her look stupid. One day, I saw him checking her phone, and she looked terrified. During the bachelorette party, I finally asked her straight up why she was marrying this guy. We were in the bathroom of some club, and she just broke down. She told me Brad had been controlling her for months. He'd isolated her from her real friends, which is why she had no maid of honor. He had compromising photos of her that he threatened to send to her family and coworkers if she tried to leave. She said, "If I don't marry him, he'll ruin my life." I can't get out. I didn't want to get involved in someone else's drama, but I also couldn't just walk away knowing what I knew. The night before the wedding, I barely slept thinking about it. So, the day of the wedding comes. Everything's beautiful. The flowers, the venue, everyone dressed up. I'm standing there in my purple dress holding Kendra's bouquet, watching her walk down the aisle to this guy who I now knew was basically holding her hostage. The ceremony happens. They say their vows, and then it's time for speeches. The best man goes first with some generic story about college. Then it's my turn. I stand up, take the mic, and just decide to throw out the script. I told everyone the truth. How we actually met 2 weeks ago in Starbucks. How her real friends weren't there because Brad had systematically pushed them away. How she was terrified of him, but felt trapped. I told them about the photos, the control, everything. The room went dead silent. Brad lunged for the microphone, but Kendra grabbed it first. She looked at me and said, "I didn't think anyone would ever stand up for me. Thank you." Then she took off her veil, threw it on the ground, and walked straight out of that reception hall. I followed her. We left together while chaos erupted behind us. Turns out Brad tried to sue me for defamation, but it didn't stick because everything I said was true.